Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Purely Platonic Podcast. Today is a Cav solo episode.
I'm sorry I'm late, the traffic was bloody awful.
You alright?
Hello. I left my phone in the other room.
It's not a Cav solo episode, I'm sorry. Some people got excited, some people cried. It was a mix of emotions.
More people cried.
It's a regular old episode. I'm in my slippers like an old man. Are you happy? Why would that make you happy? I don't know, but...
Well, talking about items of clothing, I just went to the toilet and it took me 9 million years, and I said to Kevin that I would tell him why it took me 9 million years, but I have to tell him on pod. So underneath my jumper,
worried.
I'm wearing a corset.
Why are you wearing a corset?
Because I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I'd done my back in falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
Not to bring this up again. I've absolutely fucked it.
Really?
Like so badly that I'm now having to wear a corset.
To as a back brace, basically.
Yeah, until my proper back brace arrives. Yeah, I know. It's I'm not having a fun time. I've sprained my SI joint, which is
my God,
the joint in between your spine and your pelvis, I think. And because I'm hypermobile,
God.
the joint just keeps on popping on out.
How does a corset help? Just to stop you moving?
It literally just keeps me in line and stops me.
And of course you just own a corset because of course you do.
Yeah. Well, I did some filming earlier this week.
Oh yeah, tell us about
Yeah,
that.
it was
I'm
really good.
excited about this.
It was ace. It was for a magic show.
Not me.
Not Caverns.
Cry.
Cry.
Maybe one day.
A guy called Stephen goes by the Mystery Guest, and he is having a magic show produced by my boyfriend, and he has a team that's been put together. It's a whole real convoluted story.
Wow.
But I was one of the actors, and I played a psychic, and for the costume of the psychic I wore this corset.
Right.
And it was the only day my back didn't hurt. And then when I went to see my chiropractor, I was like, oh, well, on Thursday it was fine because I was wearing my corset. And he was like, oh, yeah. Keep wearing it. Keep going.
Yeah.
So that's
it makes
what
sense.
I'm doing.
It makes sense. Yeah.
And it's the difference when I'm wearing it and when I'm not wearing it is mental. I can walk without
that's good.
being in pain.
That's always a good sign.
When I'm wearing it, which is a bonus.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily breathe, but
I was going to say,
walk.
I've never worn a corset, but that's the thing, is it? You can't breathe, basically.
I mean, you can breathe more than people think you can.
Right.
The one I've got on isn't a steel-boned corset, which is what they would have had.
Steel-boned?
Yeah, so these lines in it.
I don't know why, it just makes me very uncomfortable when you're showing it. It looks painful. It looks like you're cyborg underneath. And you're just showing your machinery. It's I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird.
But these bits are plastic.
How hard is it? Can I punch?
Yeah, punch it.
Oh yeah, that's tough. Yeah, you are a cyborg. Yeah.
Yeah. But these are plastic, whereas in ye olden days, they would have been steel
boned.
So you could not with this. I can poke it and it moves,
God.
and I can move.
Yeah, don't.
That hurt. But I can move a little bit. I have some range, whereas previously you wouldn't, because it would have been steel. And
Excellent.
Ouch.
How was the filming then?
It was really good. It was ace. And I think it's going to look really cool. This is the bit that I did was just one segment of it. There's 3.
Wow.
It's
a pretty high budget thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where's it going? How can people see it?
We don't I say we. I have very little to do with it, but they don't really know yet. It will probably end up on YouTube somewhere, somehow. They don't really know how they want. They're in such early stages at the minute. As I say, we literally just filmed it. That they don't really know how they want to, because it's not selling anything. It's not necessarily selling a product or
Wow, a magician not selling something. That's a revolutionary
yeah,
idea.
I mean, he's
Take note, magicians that are watching.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can just not sell
yeah,
something.
Yeah, he's obviously like
Hypocritical.
He's obviously like promoting himself,
Yeah,
but even
which
then,
is- yeah.
that's not really the aim of it.
See, in the old days, it would be put it on DVD, and the coasters are a bit sticky here, aren't they?
Sticky.
But yeah, in the old days, slap it on a DVD and sell it, and that would be the way.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
physical
yeah,
media.
yeah.
Nowadays, it's like, well, yeah, you can put it on YouTube, but will you earn any money back from it? Probably not. You know, like that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't. As I say, I'm not entirely sure what the plan is, but you know, we've got 200 of you on YouTube. I will tell you when
If you're watching and you're not
you know.
subscribed, make sure to subscribe.
Definitely.
Did you discover that you were actually psychic? You're a bit psychic, right? Well, not a bit psychic. You're a bit like spiritual, you know?
Yeah.
You're in touch with your spiritual side.
Yeah.
Is what I
So
mean.
when I got the part, it was one of my boyfriend's friends who was directing it, and he had been like, "Oh yeah, I really want Abby to do this role." Hang on, I'm currently pillowing.
Oh my gosh.
I want more pillows. I know
You seem higher up than me. What's going on? Is this sofa lower or something? I don't know. I
It's
just
because
feel
I'm
like
not
maybe I'm
slouched
maybe
at
I'm
all.
slouching. Yeah. Maybe I
can't-
should slouch like even more.
I can't bend.
I'll
My
just
bo-
slouch
that's
even
better,
more.
that's better,
Oh
that's
yeah, there
better.
we go.
Oh, that's nice. Right, good.
This is like how they filmed Lord of the Rings, you know, where like Ian McKellen was really big, and then I'm little. What's his face?
So then, obviously, I read tarot, and I have a lot of witchy.
Oh, you should do it on the pod one day.
Items. Yeah,
you should
I'd
do
love to do
like
that.
my tarot.
Yeah,
And we'll talk
I'd
about
love
that
to do
whole
that.
world because I'm fascinated by it in
Yeah.
a completely different way. That's the thing. I love it, and I do magic routines that use the idea of tarot and star signs and all that sort of stuff. But I'm from a completely different angle.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting.
It's good. It's I've read a lot of people's tarot, and there's definitely the difference between the people who already believe in it or already think that it's accurate or whatever, and then there's the people who are so cynical, and then I read their tarot and they're going, oh my god, what? Because it's always right. It just is. Like,
Yeah, it
You
is.
can't-
Even I can't
you
deny.
can't
Even I can't
deny
deny that. No,
it is always right.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But I ended up dressing the set for this
Oh, nice.
film because I had so much stuff. I was like, well, I might as well just bring it with me
Yeah.
and be
make
the
it more
set
accurate.
designer to a certain
I
extent.
love that.
Which was really cool because it also meant that like I had a little bit more say creatively, and I could go, oh, well, we could use this, or we could use this, or you know, if any of you follow me on socials, you will have seen me reading some runestones. That was my runestone set, and I was like, oh yeah, we'll just read some runestones. Let's do it.
That's so good. The props aren't just props; they're actually yours. That's great.
Oh yeah, and like the tarot deck and stuff we were using, like, I mean, if you look close enough, you can see that on some of the cards there's like blemishes and like the corners are a little bit like soggy in places because I have used that tarot deck so many times.
You did it at a party once, right?
Yeah.
Dressed as.
So this is where it came from. So my boyfriend had seen a picture of me in this psychic costume.
Which was really good, by the way. It'll be on screen. Make sure to send me a picture of it.
I will.
It'll be on screen.
And he basically was like, do you fancy recreating this look? And
I was going
like,
to say it was very similar. Like even the face paint.
well, that
and
was what I
stuff.
did. I was
Yeah.
just like, I've already done it before. Like, I know it works. I know it looks good.
Great.
You know, I knew what all of the symbols meant. Because, like, if you're looking at the picture now, or you've just looked at it, like, I know what every single symbol on my face means.
Oh wow.
And I feel like that's really important because
Yeah.
I didn't want people to be like, oh, you know, me, X, Y, and Z, and coming at me, you know, for various different reasons. One of which being, oh, well, you're giving us bad juju. You're like, all of
What
this.
do you mean? Like from the
So say, for example, if
tarot community, you mean?
Yeah, well, just from anyone, really. But, like, say, for example, if I put, like, a symbol that possibly had negative connotations, they might say, it's a bit dodgy. As in, when I first created the makeup look, I was like, I'm going to make these symbols super positive. So it's like health, strength, the heart, power, all of that stuff on my face. Cool. I was like, I am not having any negativity from dressing like a witch. Do you know what I mean? I've got to keep it protective and positive from like a, Sam chatting biscuit.
No, you're not. I'm just letting you chat about it because it is interesting. It is really interesting.
But it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and it was nice to do some acting again.
Yes,
I loved it.
Yeah, how's that going? To be honest, like
it's not.
No, it is though, because it literally is. I saw you in a recording studio the other day. You've done this magic show not long ago, like a week ago.
So the thing is, it's all about like. At the minute, there's very little acting work going around, and like very few jobs, should I say, up for grabs for my circle of acting, because I'm not in the big rooms or even necessarily the medium rooms currently.
You got to start in the small rooms though.
Exactly, but there's very few small rooms open at the moment. So I'm creating my own, doing this filming. Like you said, this morning I was in a recording studio recording a song that I've written. Again, it's making my own small room. So
how cool is that though?
Yeah, it was ace. It was ace.
That is so good. Well, I mean, look, I'm on
but this
a
is
similar but different path.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, yes, I have a full-time job that is sort of separate to magic and filmmaking and all that sort of stuff. But I want to be a magician, right? Full time. I've said that numerous times. Maybe this is the year that it happens.
Yes, it is.
But you've got to start in the small rooms, right? January, I had no gigs. Not one gig, right? Not a single gig. But then compare that to December, where I was gigging at some points every other day, certainly every weekend. It's like you go from December thinking, oh yeah, I can actually do this as my job, to January, oh dear God, what the hell has happened? I'm a professional magician, but I have no gigs. What is this?
What is going on?
And I'm trying. I'm going to wedding fairs and I'm advertising myself and I'm putting myself out there. But it is just difficult.
It's really hard.
I'm just on that slow upwards climb of trying to make it a job. And the same with YouTube and the Magician Club and various other ventures. You've got to, like you say, make your own path, because otherwise you're just sort of waiting for something that might never come along.
I think that's what people don't necessarily understand about being self-employed. Like,
maybe this is what the podcast is going to be about. I don't know.
Who knows?
We haven't planned this episode.
We've not
in
planned
case you can't
at all.
tell.
We're just chatting away. But I think being self-employed is great. Don't get me wrong. You're your own boss. You can control all of your time. You can control what you say yes or no to, etc., etc. But similarly, there's no one telling you what to do, and there's no one giving you jobs. You've got to find them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, you don't know when when the next gig is coming or when the next paycheck is coming, and it's like, oh my God. And I think, the guys who I was recording with this morning, they're both also self-employed, but in the music industry.
Oh, wow.
And obviously I know loads of people now in the filming industry, and obviously loads of people in the acting industry. And I'm like, this is just one big blob of creative self-employedness where we're all in the same boat of living by each minute. It's like, oh my goodness.
And it is really hard.
It's really
no
hard.
one says it's easy.
No.
The people that think it's easy
don't know.
Well, no, the people that say it's easy have gone already through the hard bit. They've been doing the hard bit for 20 years, and now it's like second nature.
But they would never, I don't think they would even then, I don't even think they would say it was easy.
No, they wouldn't say it was easy.
If you asked someone like, say Ian McKellen, because we've already mentioned him, he would never tell you that being an actor is easy, I don't think. If we actually had him here, hi Ian, welcome to the podcast.
Can you imagine?
Could you That would be amazing.
We've already
Sir
met him.
Ian McKellen, if you're watching, if you want to be a guest on our podcast, we've already met you.
You might remember that many years ago you came to our school
and we asked you questions about acting.
and you shook my hand.
Cogsworth to Cogsworth.
Yeah, I was Cogsworth in a school production at our school. Ian McKellen came and did a talk in front of everyone, right?
Yeah.
And then also separately after that did like little talks with like maybe 10
groups,
people.
yeah.
And we were in one of those groups representing the drama department of our school, which was a very cool thing. And because I was Cogsworth, and at the time the Beauty and the Beast movie was about to come out, it hadn't come out, had it?
No, I think they were filming it or just finished filming it. It was very recent to that.
Cogsworth
to that
to Cogsworth, he shook my hand, and I was like, oh my God.
I'm never washing this hand
Oh
again.
my God, I actually haven't. Sniff it.
Oh, that's disgusting. Someone else who, well, I don't know if you actually did meet him. John Barrowman. Did you meet John?
I saw him from a distance. Yeah.
I was sat on the front row. He came in to talk about his book, and it's actually his sister's book, but we don't talk about that. They'd kind of co-written it, but he was helping with the what's the word?
Marketing?
Yeah.
The book tour.
The
Publication.
publicity.
Publicity.
Is that what I'm looking for?
God, you're having another brain breakage. I know your dad's listening to this right now going, publicity!
Publicity! Beep, boop, beep, boop. Sorry.
Hello.
But, yeah, I sat on the front row and asked him, again, loads of questions about acting, and he was lovely and very chatty.
Yeah, John Barrowman's an odd one, really. I'm not a huge fan.
Oh,
No.
I like it. I mean, he's been a few
He's
problems.
Sort of,
but
got himself into some sticky situations. But even before that, I don't know. There was always something about him. I was like, you love yourself too much. You know, he's one of those people. It's like some people love him, some people hate him. I don't hate him at all, but I don't like him. I've always been a bit you're good in things, but you know you're good in things.
See, I think it's all an act. I don't think any of it is real. Because I went to go see his concert.
Right.
John Barrowman in concert. It was brilliant. It was really good. And he brought his mum out to sing with him. And it was lovely. And I don't know. I think it's all an act.
Yeah.
Because again, when he was chatting with his sister, they're Scottish. He is Scottish.
Yeah,
he's not American.
I know, that's
they
weird,
moved to America and went to an international school, and he got bullied for having a Scottish accent. So he had an American accent.
He put it on.
He put it on,
and then it stuck.
So every time he talks about Scotland, or every time he talks about home, he starts talking in a Scottish accent.
Yeah, no, I've seen him talk in a Scottish accent, and it is strange. Yeah, so
I think it's all fake.
He's sort of a bit of a character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Maybe I'm being.
I could be
harsh
completely
then.
wrong, and maybe he is completely full of himself. But I think because of Doctor Who as well, he will always just have a little bit of a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah.
This is going to be really bad when he comes out and is like proper cancelled. We're going to be
he
cancelled
already sort of
with him.
was cancelled.
He was
wasn't
cancelled.
he?
Yeah. Oh,
He
I don't
was
condone necessarily his behaviour.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's all real. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's false.
I think,
I'm
and
saying
obviously
I think
we're
it's
treading
a
on
facade.
thin ice here. But I think if it wasn't for the Noel Clarke situation that happened around that time,
that was like,
you know, and we're talking for people who don't know, Noel Clarke and John Barrowman acted in Doctor Who together.
Yeah.
It came out that Noel Clarke was a very bad person, essentially.
Oh
A
my
lot
God.
of women came out and accused him of all sorts of awful things, which we won't get into. It's a light-hearted podcast. But I think if that hadn't have happened, then maybe John Barrowman wouldn't have been dragged down with it. It's because they were like co-stars, and it was like, oh, also he did this thing, which is not really comparable. John Barrowman essentially got his knob out on set.
He got his knob out on set, and he got his butt out, and it's like,
Is that the same as multiple women
See,
accusing you of abuse?
No,
it's like,
it's absolutely not the same.
For me,
And
they're
it's
not the
like-
same. They're both bad, but for very different
Yeah.
reasons, you know? If it's an act, don't do that, you know?
I know,
Like,
I know.
Even if it's an act.
it's the lines though, they blur.
Even if
don't
you
they?
play a character, which fine, I totally get it.
Yeah.
People play characters, sure, I get it.
But then you get into
play
like
a nice one.
yeah, but then you get into like the Joker, and when does method acting. Do you know what I mean? Then you get into that
Gosh, yeah,
conversation of like, when does it
What
stop?
are your thoughts on method acting then?
Oh, get rid.
Really?
Really, really, really dangerous.
Really?
In some capacities, absolutely. Like, envisage living in the body of your character. Envisage living the life of your character, definitely.
Yeah, I get that.
But it should not take over you, because it's really unhealthy. Like, really unhealthy.
Yeah.
Especially...
Not just for you, for other people
This
as
is the
well.
thing.
Like the thing that springs to my mind is Jared Leto playing the Joker.
Yeah.
Went method for it apparently, which is, you can definitely tell watching the film. Not, it's a strange film. Have you seen the film that he's in, Suicide Squad?
Oh, yes, I
It's
have.
just like, I don't know if everyone thinks this, but I think it's just a bizarre film. I watch it and I'm like, what's going on? What are you trying to do? Jared Leto is sort of barely in it.
I was gonna say, he's not in it enough to warrant going method.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point.
Harley Quinn is in it more.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. Mwah,
Yeah, so
chef's
Jared
kiss.
Leto went method, did all these crazy things, and is in the film for hardly
About
any time,
5
and his scenes
seconds.
are all like chopped up in random ways, like a montage. It's like a trailer. The bits he's
Yeah.
in, is cut
It's
together
all like
a trailer.
montagey, flashbacky.
And it's like, surely there was a scene here.
Yeah.
Surely there was a script for a
Yeah.
scene, and you've like moshed it up into like nothing. You can't even tell what Jared Leto was trying to do. I'm sure he wasn't happy with it, watching it back, going, hold on a second, I did a whole scene here, and you've cut most of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, he
I
went
can't-
method and like sent used condoms to his cast members and stuff, and like sent dead rats to people, and it's like,
See, that's...
how's that helping?
This is the thing.
You know?
If you are really isolated and you want to go method to some degree, fine. But it affects everyone around you. Like, I've heard horror stories of people, and this is the thing as well. If you're playing, say for example, me, a 22-year-old female. If I am about to go and play a 22-year-old female, I'm not going to go method because I don't need to. If I'm about to go and play a 30-year-old serial killer who has had 7 children and has been divorced 3 times, yeah, maybe going method would help me to understand that, because it's so far away from who I am. But it would be really dangerous.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's so far away from who I am. It's like a chicken and egg situation. And again, going back to Joker, the reason why these people go method when they're playing these kind of roles is because they're hard roles to play. But that's exactly why you shouldn't be going method, because they're psychopaths.
Yeah.
Like, why would you ever want to go method as a psychopath?
See, part of me thinks, and maybe this is me being very cynical,
on.
feel free to disagree,
Go on.
but I've got a hot take.
Hot take time.
Hot take. Put on the kettle, it's a hot take.
Sorry.
I think some of these people want to go method because it gives them an excuse to be a bad person in a controlled situation. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying Jared Leto wants to, in his normal life, send used condoms to his cast members or whatever, but
It's got to be in you somewhere, though, hasn't
you're
it?
choosing to do that still. Whether it's the character or not, you've chosen to go method as the character. Therefore, you're choosing to do these things. It's not like you're being possessed by the Joker and everything you do is the Joker. It's still you, right? You're still playing a part, even when the cameras aren't rolling. So, like, it's you still.
It's
what are
still
you doing?
you, 100%.
If I was on set as an actor with another actor who was being method, I'd just be like, what are you doing? We're acting.
Yeah.
Why are you being the
I think,
character?
have I mentioned when I was in the musical? Have we talked about this before?
No, I don't.
And
well,
I was like,
know.
oh, the
I don't know.
closest I've come to being method was in the musical. I'm sure we've talked about this before.
As the mother.
As the mum, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like, so I was playing a 50-year-old Irish woman who had a kid and had murdered her child. Like, of course I can't relate to that because I'm none of those things. And like, oh my goodness. Anyway, but it got to the point where, like, at the end of every show, I was having to, like, see my dead son. And I'd got myself in such the mindset of this character that it broke me every single night. And then for like a week after, my whole body went into grief mode. And I just couldn't get out of bed for the week because in my head, my son was dead. I don't have a son. Like, he's one of my best mates, the guy who played the son.
That sort of method, but unintentionally. You've not
That's the
chosen
thing.
to
And
do
I wasn't
that.
living as her. I was talking in an Irish accent for most of the
I think
time.
putting on
but
an
that's
accent,
because
yeah.
I was trying to get used to the
I
accent.
think putting on an accent is different. There are lots of actors who keep their accent,
my
which fair
flatmate
enough.
got very fed up with me.
You can do an absolutely cracking accent though.
But every time I do that Irish accent, it's like she comes out again. I'm like, oh, she's still there. But that was the closest I've ever come, and actually, that's enough.
But the thing is, with that performance, as an audience member who saw that, you could tell. You could tell that your performance was so utterly convincing. It was the first time I've seen you in something where I forgot it was you.
Yeah, you said that, and that was real high praise.
Because normally when I see it, I'm there because you're in it.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of watching it, and obviously your acting is brilliant in everything. And that's not just me saying it, it genuinely is. But I know it's you.
Yeah.
I know it's you because you're my best mate, and it's like, yeah, I know it's you. But this was the first one where I was like completely wrapped up in the performance, and I was like, I had to like remind myself of, oh my God, that's Abbie on stage. Like, it's just not like you're a different person. Your voice, the way you move, everything. I was completely sucked in by the performance. So I like you going method, not that you went method, but you know, wrapping yourself in the character. It made a difference. So that's where it's like fair enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that was where my brain went. It was okay, for example, I saw an interview with Meryl Streep, who was talking about exactly the same thing when she was doing Devil Wears Prada. She didn't go method with it by any means, but she stayed in the character. She stayed in that world, so she didn't like piss about on the set. She didn't have as much fun as she possibly normally would have done. This is what she was saying in the interview. Because she needed that dynamic between... Have you seen The Devil Wears Prada?
No.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
No, sorry, never
But
seen
she
it.
plays like this really like boss ass bitch, nasty fashion boss. And Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt are her like assistants to a certain extent. And she is just like very
cold.
Yeah. And I can't remember in this interview Anne Hathaway said that Meryl Streep had come up to her and gone, look, on like the first day, she was like, look, lovely to meet you, I think you're amazing, I'm really excited to work with you, that is the last nice thing I'm going to say to you throughout this process. And it was, because otherwise it would have affected that balance. It would have been hard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To then go into, oh God, I'm really scared of you. Oh God, you know. So in that capacity, it was kind of the same thing with me. I didn't really talk to anyone, you know, post shooting my son, and I didn't engage in any kind of fun bantery thing that maybe Abbie would have. I very much stayed in that kind of, you know, where the character would have been at that point, which was, you know, I've got to fix this, you know, I've got to...
I think that's totally normal. And with my very, very limited experience of acting, I did the same thing, and it's on there. Les Mis, school production, right? Upper sixth. I was, 17? So very, very different level of acting. We're talking down here when Abbie's up here. But I did the same thing before Javier's suicide. I was like, I've got to get myself in the mindset of someone... Oh, thank you.
Sorry. With the feet.
Yeah. I've got to get myself in the mindset of someone who's going to kill themselves.
Yeah.
So I don't just want to be mucking about backstage.
I'm
just going to sit quietly and just ignore everyone and then do it. So that's my only experience. But again, that's not method. That's so far from method. And it's that what you did isn't method. So it's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Don't get method.
Yeah.
And like you say, I don't think it's healthy.
The only time that I would possibly understand going method or be more sympathetic is with biopics. So like Elvis. I can understand why, I can't remember his name. Austin Butler went like completely method with it and, you know, lived in that voice of Elvis and because he's playing someone who is so well known that, you've got to get it into your body. I think he then took it to an unhealthy point of view.
I don't really know much about this.
He couldn't get rid of the accent. So he kept talking like Elvis. He couldn't shake it.
God.
He was doing another role, apparently, I think.
Oh my God.
And had to hire a vocal coach to get his own voice back.
Oh my God. Oh
So
my
it's
God.
like,
That's
but
scary.
I think
Imagine being stuck as
from-
Elvis.
I
You
know.
wake up in the morning. Every morning. Every single morning.
I know. But from what I can gather, and I could be wrong with this comment, so don't shout at me, COVID happened, like, as they were preparing to
Was
film.
it that long ago?
And
Wow.
so he, like, literally had lockdown being Elvis. Like, that's how
Oh
long
my
he lived as
God.
Elvis. And again, I could be wrong with that, but I know it was a long time that he was kind of locked away and hotting.
Oh my God. Imagine going to the COVID testing centre. Oh.
Open your mouth.
That's the only Elvis thing I can do. I'm desperately trying to come up with an Elvis and COVID related pun, but I can't.
Yeah. Neither could I. Oh. Anyway, how have you been? We've chatted for ages again about my life.
Yeah, no, I've been ill really. I feel like the last month I've just kind of don't really know what's happened. I've kind of skipped the last month. I mean, for the listeners, by the time this comes out, hopefully I will have been active doing the podcast will have been coming out. Hopefully I'm making YouTube videos again. It's just been like a weird blank. Like I was ill, then I recovered, went to Blackpool, and then I was ill again. So like if you saw me at how I was in the Blackpool video, that was like the peak of my health, and then I was back down here again. Like it was really, really weird. I think
What kind of illness was it, if you don't mind divulging?
It was like bedbound. It was
like a
just
cold? Like coldy?
Kind of, but just like my
Might have
body.
been like a kind of glandular fevery thing.
Yeah, may have even been COVID. Yeah, I don't know, but no one knows anymore. No one knows anymore, do they? Because COVID's just now like, well, it's one of those things, you know? Yeah. So it was just like bizarre.
Weird.
But I've got to tell you about this because it's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh my goodness.
This is genuinely, like, no joke. It's quite scary and serious.
Shit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
But it is the single strangest thing that has ever happened to me. In the height of my illness, right? I'm talking bed sweats. You know, I'm shivering and I'm sweating and I'm in bed. I sleep for like 16 hours, right?
Which is mental, especially for
For
you.
me, that's mad. That is mad. I go to bed at like 5 and wake up at, I don't know, like
Mental.
10 or something like that. It was crazy. But anyway, this is like, I think, maybe the night before I have like a massive sleep.
Okay.
And I'm really restless. I'm like, honestly, I'm sweating, I'm up, I'm down. Like, I can't sleep at this point because I'm just all over the place. But I get some sleep and I have a nightmare. Like a really, really vivid, horrible nightmare that I can't even remember now, but I know it was scary. One of those sort of things.
Yeah.
And I wake up from this nightmare and I'm still having the nightmare.
No. Oh no.
I know I'm awake. I'm fully awake. But in my head, my face is melting off me. And I am having to like hold my face from like falling off. And I'm saying to myself out loud, like, I'm awake. Like, I'm awake. I'm not having this dream. Like, I'm not having this dream. I have to like run to the bathroom and like look at myself in the mirror to check. I film on my phone. I'm not joking. I take my phone out. This is how conscious I am. I go to the camera and I film a video of my face. And like, I'm turning like this. I'm like moving my face. Like, holy shit, it really feels like my face is falling off. And I watch the video back to make sure it's not falling off. This is how mad I am at this moment. I'm so out of it, but awake, that I actually genuinely think my face is falling off. So I watch the video back. I'm like, yeah, okay, my face isn't falling off. I just need to like ride it out. It's honestly like I'm on a drug. I've never been on drugs, but I imagine this is sort of what being on a drug is like. And I just have to like stand there and splash myself with cold water for about 2 minutes. And then like, I'm fine. And I'm like out of it. But I'm like, holy shit, what was that? That was like
That is terrifying.
That was like a hallucination. And I sound mental talking about it, and people are going to be like, you are mad. That is, get some
so
help. But it was just because I was
scary.
ill. Like, my brain was
Holy moly.
was all over the place. Probably sleep deprived, exhausted. I don't know what
Well,
it
there
was.
is a
but
thing, like, obviously,
Yeah.
fever dreams are a thing, and, like, you do have, like, mad dreams when you've got a fever.
Yeah.
But that is, like...
I googled it afterwards. It's like a hypnopompic hallucination. Apparently, it can happen when you're ill. It can also happen, like, when you're drunk. I wasn't drunk, obviously, because I was ill. But, like, yeah, it's a
4 a.m. in the
thing
morning.
that can happen.
My face falling off.
I know, yeah, genuinely.
We've all had a drink.
I mean, we've all been there, right? But I've had sleep paralysis before.
I can't.
The
I'm
worst.
so scared of it.
The worst. Have you had it?
No. And I read an article about it when I was Diddy.
Oh,
And ever since, so in the article,
that's
of,
pretty traumatic to read.
yeah,
about
and
as
it was like a
child.
newspaper
Yeah.
article, and I was reading about it, and I was like, oh, and you know, like nowadays when you go on like a bit of a TikTok rabbit hole,
Yeah.
it was like the equivalent of a TikTok rabbit hole, but back in day when TikTok didn't
A
exist.
Wikipedia rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh! And I was like doing all this research. Anyway,
I miss those as a child. I used to do that
Yeah,
as a child.
yeah, it's gotta be done.
Yeah, about really scary stuff
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Don't know why.
random. But one of the things that it said was that it's more common when you're on your back. Like when you sleep on your back, you're more likely
Really?
to have sleep paralysis. And because of that fact, I now can't sleep on my back.
Really?
And I've never been able to sleep on
How
my back.
do you sleep now?
On my side.
I sleep on my front.
You are weird. Sorry.
I am so weird.
That's not normal. How did I not know this about? I mean, why would I? But
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah,
weird.
I know
What
it's
the
weird. The thing is,
fuck?
I'm self-aware that I know that's really
So
weird.
like, where did your head? I take it your head chooses a side. Where do
Yeah.
your arms go?
I feel like I need to demonstrate.
Please
So
do.
this is my pillow. This is what it's come to. This is my pillow. So I am like arms under the pillow.
I need to.
I have my arms under the pillow. You heard me right. Sometimes the pillow is at an angle to make it just a little bit more comfortable. And I am like basically hugging the pillow like this, but fully face down, like fully like my body's face down like that. I know it's strange.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, question then. How does your girlfriend fit into that? I know that sounds really stupid, but like, how does one cuddle when one is like that?
Well, we don't.
Oh, are you like separate sleepers? Like, good night.
I mean, not to get too personal about it, but
Sorry.
But sometimes, so you know, we'll cuddle for a bit. I can't sleep like that. I do the
okay,
thing in
yeah.
Friends, you know, the like
Aw.
hug and roll. I hug and roll.
Yeah. I
I'm
can
doing a
completely
Ross,
understand
yeah.
that. Some people can, some people can't. I didn't used to. I used to be a hug and roller, and now
I need
not.
my space. Get off me! I feel claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic, Gavin.
Yeah.
Claustrophobic.
But yeah, no, I am fully like when I sleep, it's away. It's got to be away, and I'm face down.
That's so strange.
Yeah, I'm revealing a lot of
You
very
are,
personal
wow.
things here.
That's interesting though. See, no, I'm a side sleeper, very much fetal position moment.
God.
The only
This
time
is getting deep. This is getting personal. I've told you
Oh,
that
it
I
is.
thought my face was falling off when I was ill, and I
That you
sleep
sleep
face
on your
down.
front.
Some people might be like hovering over the unsubscribe button. Like, I don't know if I like this person anymore.
hang on a sec. Stay for me. I'm normal. I sleep
No, she's
on
not
my
actually.
side.
She's not. She's not normal.
But I always sleep on my side. The only time I can sleep
Which side? Either?
either or either. I tell you what I do like, a side, but then with like the other leg going more forward. I can't demonstrate because I'm in pain.
Oh, like a knee up.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
kind of half on my front, but not on my front because I have boobs. I'll bite small ones, but boobs. I can only ever sleep on my back if there's someone else in bed with me.
What's this thing? You're scared of having sleep paralysis, but you've never had it?
Yeah.
That's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Surely you'd only be scared of it if you know what it's like. Because it is scary. It is confusing.
Ooh, it sounds like my worst nightmare,
But-
like literally.
But it doesn't last very long, or at least not for me. Maybe I've heard that for other people it can last or feel like it's lasting a while. But genuinely for me, it is just like, oh my God, I can't move. This is blah, and then I'm kind of out of it. It's like seconds at most. I'm talking maybe
Yeah.
a minute tops.
See, I've heard of it like where people can't move and they just see a figure in the corner of the room, or someone
I've never seen it. I've
comes
seen
and
like
sits
shapes.
on the bed, or someone
Ooh.
someone was lying there, they couldn't move, and a little kid climbs up the side of the bed and sits on their chest so they can't breathe.
And there's a very famous painting about that, isn't
No,
there? You know, the
no,
woman that's
no.
like this, and there's a little gnome on her chest. Yeah, that's that, isn't it?
Terrifying.
Mm.
I don't want a little kid sat on my chest.
I had a recurring dream. Oh, we can get into recurring dreams.
Oh, I
'cause I've
love
got-
dreams.
I've got a few of them,
Dreams. I
but
love talking
I had a
about
recurring
dreams.
nightmare as a child.
Go on.
About another kid that would come into my room and sit on the end of my bed, and they had like no eyes. They had like black eyes.
That's
like, just
creepy.
pits for eyes.
Oh, I
Yeah.
had so many reoccurring dreams. I still do. And they
Yeah.
just like randomly pop up and I'll be like, oh, I've not had that one in a few months.
Really?
Oh gosh, yeah. One of them when I was little was that, and they always have stages, the dreams. And so I'd wake up in the dream and all my Barbies had come alive and were like trying to give me a makeover. And at first it's like, oh, yay, makeover. I'm talking like I'm little at this point. And then I realize that they're like trying to kill me.
Oh God.
So I leave and I'm in my house, but it's not my house. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's not my house, but I
Oh,
know
yeah.
it's my house. And I'm like, okay, I need to go find mum and dad. I go into their room and they are just two skeletons in the bed. And I'm like, okay, mum and dad are dead. Let's leave now. So I go downstairs and it's a massive white kitchen with, you know, those racks where like the pots and pans
Oh,
are
yeah.
hanging from the ceiling. It's got that.
Oh yeah, nice.
And then like
Kitchen island.
Yeah,
What
kitchen
sort
island.
of tiles was it? What's splashback?
it's all white, like shiny white.
Okay.
So like a bit
Weird.
creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a bit weird.
Anyway, and then go outside and it's like dirt track road, but like desert dirt track road. The house is gone and I'm stood on this road and I'm like, oh no. And I look at the end of the road and there's a figure at the end of the road.
This is detailed.
It is really detailed. This is why, because it's a recurring dream and I need to show you. Who is at the end of the road?
What is going on? I'm so
At
confused.
the end of the road is Marvin the Martian.
Marvin the Martian. I've never heard of Marvin the Martian. Who the hell's that?
He's a cartoon character from the Looney Tunes.
Oh, never watched that as a
Marvin-
kid. He's on screen, by the way.
Marvin the
for
Martian.
people that want to see that. Wow.
And he just starts running towards me.
That's pretty
And I'm like, oh
weird.
no. And so I turn and I start running
Does he look
away.
like a cartoon or is he like live action?
No,
Marvin
he's a
the
cartoon
Martian?
and he's really small
Oh my God.
and he's just running relentlessly. And I'm like running and I'm not going anywhere. I'm not moving.
I hate that.
I'm not moving. I'm not
I
moving.
hate
I'm not
that.
moving. Right. And then he'll like eventually catch me. And as I'm falling, that's when I wake up.
Mm.
I always have falling wake up dreams. And then the pièce de résistance.
But you're awake at this point.
No, I always have. When I was little, I've not had this for years, but when I was little, every time I had a dream, I would have like an outro dream,
An end credit scene.
an end credit scene,
Wow.
right?
Thanos turns up.
Oh yeah. And it would always be falling. So I would be falling. And as the dream turned into the outro dream, I'd be sat in a car, right? And fall into the well of the seat. That would be the fall into the well of the seat. And then suddenly I'd be on a dinosaur. I'm not making this up.
This sounds so made
Like
up.
dinosaur, head, tail, fall from the well of the seat on top of the dinosaur, right? I would then go in, like the dinosaur would catch me. I'd go all inside the dinosaur.
Oh my God.
And then for some reason, come out of the dinosaur and slide down its tail. And then as I was sliding down its tail and like flying, boom, that's when I'd actually wake up. But And I don't know if this is linked to your face falling off moment, actually.
Oh my God.
I would be in a
Don't talk about
computer
that.
screen. I'd wake up, but I would be in a computer screen, as in I could see folders and like the start button. But I was awake.
What?
And I was in
Are
the
you having
computer
me
screen.
on? Are
No,
you having me
I
on?
swear.
This is the most
I
mental
swear.
thing I've ever heard.
I swear.
That's
swear,
more
swear.
mental than my face falling off when I was ill.
I
That's
swear.
insane.
And all of my dreams would end like that. When I was like having a falling wake up dream.
Right, well, mine doesn't sound as impressive now.
Oh, it does.
so-
Yours sounds terrifying.
No,
Mine
I
was
mean
just
my
like,
recurring dream as a child. I
Oh
think I
my
might have
goodness,
unplugged
sorry.
my microphone. Have I? No, I've not.
No, sorry, I completely interrupted your story there.
No.
Go on.
No. I mean, I just need a minute to just think about what you've said
Oh.
because that's insane. Okay.
It
So
was a strange moment.
I had a recurring dream as a child that would only happen in the run up to Christmas. It was a it was a seasonal dream. I'm not making this up.
Okay.
It would only ever happen in the Advent period.
Advent period.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And it was about an Advent calendar, which is
Okay,
why it
okay.
was seasonal. And every year, like clockwork, I still get this dream. I don't know why I said as a child. I had this dream in the most just once, but in the most recent Advent period that we have surpassed. Right?
Jesus.
In December, mid-December.
Okay.
I had it. So I'm still getting this dream, and it's not very interesting, but it's a huge. I'm talking like massive.
Okay.
Advent calendar. A lot of my nightmares involve things being way, way too big.
I have that as
Yeah.
well. Too big and too small.
Too big and too small,
yeah,
like
yeah. Ooh, and it
on
proper-
a freaky
ooh,
level.
yeah.
I'm glad someone else has
No,
that
it's
because that
nasty.
is horrible.
It's like a thing. It's a legit thing.
And one of the doors opens of this huge Advent calendar,
it's my
and it's like
face. I'm
the,
joking.
the big boulder from Indiana Jones
Oh,
comes
no.
like rolling towards me, and it's literally that I'm running with my whip and my hat. No, that's not part of it. But I'm running, and this ball is like rolling after me, but it's like 1,000 times bigger than in the film. It's like huge. It's like the earth is rolling after
Ooh.
me, and then I wake up. It never gets me, but it's pretty scary every time.
What happens when it does?
No, it's never
Yeah,
caught
but
me.
what happens when it does? Dun, dun.
I then fall into the well of a car seat, and then I'm sliding down a dinosaur. Very similar to yours. No, yeah, that's mine.
Oh,
So
yeah.
weird.
Too big, too small. Proper gets me. Really gets me. I have it in another recurring dream with too big, too small, and it's frustration pieces. You know the game frustration with the little coloured pieces.
The little in the middle.
Yeah. And it's those coloured pieces, and it's like in a completely white room, like complete like white void, and they're just like going around in a circle really monotonously, and then suddenly they just start to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and I'm like, I can't stop it. And then they go the opposite way, shrink. And I, in real life, really like things that are too small, like little baby forks, little baby spoons, little baby anything. I'm like,
have you seen my little deck of cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's good, that,
I
isn't
just
it?
think it's cute. Like model villages. Oh, I love them. But in my dreams, it can fuck off.
yeah. I totally get that.
There's a song that always reminds me of that recurring dream as well, and I can't remember what song it is. Oh,
that's good for the podcast.
stop it.
I have another
Go on.
recurring dream that
Whilst
again
I try and find
I
this
still
song.
get. I'm in the bath, and again, talking about too small, I start shrinking,
Oh no!
and I start like going down the plug hole, but I'm like miniature. I'm like, and it sounds funny,
And then
but
you
honestly,
fall down a dinosaur.
when you're in it, and you think it's real.
Oh my goodness, it's terrifying.
Why do we think it's real though? Why doesn't our brain go, hold on a second, big boulder coming out of a giant advent calendar? What's going on here,
doesn't
Kevin?
make any sense.
You're obviously sleeping. Like,
You're off your trolley.
yeah, your face is falling off again. I don't know why my brain is talking in this accent, but you've lost the plot, Kevin. I don't know, like dreams are just so mad, aren't they?
Oh my god, it's mental. I have really wacky dreams. Like whenever I dream, I have wacky dreams.
Evidently, we all know that now, yeah.
And my boyfriend hates listening to me tell about my dreams. He absolutely hates it. So I'll wake up and go, oh, I had a dream about, and he'll be like, ugh. And I'm like, it's a real important thing for me to be able to talk about my dreams. And he hates it. So then I'll just send him voice notes.
Do you have a dream diary?
I do have a dream diary.
Oh, I need one because I do sometimes get weird ones.
Yeah.
And I nearly always forget them 5 minutes later.
I think I've got one in my dream diary of you dying. I have so many dreams about people dying. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't think I've
many.
ever had a dream about you.
Rude. I've got a lot.
That is insane to me. Just scroll through that for the camera. Just quickly scroll through. Just show how much there is. Can you see that? That is insane. There's like thousands of words here. It's like a book. Look at this. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
So it starts in 2018, and then I have put some on from 2023, but not many. I don't write them all down.
I need to keep a dream diary. Mine would just be like sentences because that's all I can ever remember. But wow.
Yeah, a lot from 2019.
Oh my goodness.
18, yeah.
Well, there we have it. That is this episode. We covered a lot of things. I don't know what I'm going to make the title of this because we spoke about so many different things.
Oh my goodness.
Being self-employed, John Barrowman for some reason I want. Dreams, so many things.
Method acting and recurring dreams.
Yeah, and people will see that and be like,
the fuck?
Anyway, thank you very much for watching and listening.
Bye.
Do all the things.
Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you thought, but be nice. And go to Spotify and give us a 5-star review.
Yes.
Now. And
immediately. And yeah.
And follow us on all the socials as well. We're trying to kind of amp up the social presence, as they say.
Yeah, the clips are doing really well.
Yeah. TikTok is just mental.
TikTok is weird.
TikTok is weird.
You get like thousands of views in 20 minutes, and then you don't get any views. Like,
and like even
weird.
our like lowest views videos have like 80 likes, and I'm like, that's for TikTok.
Wow,
for something that like isn't like that popular.
TikTok ain't really my area, but
that's
you handle that.
Bit cray cray.
Yeah.
Bit crazy.
Anyway, thanks for listening and watching. We will see you in the next one.
Bye for now.
Bye.